Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, welcome back for another video. Today's video we're going to be covering a little bit of Walking Dead news that has come out here in the last few days. So this is a little bit old, about a week, but anyways, I hope everybody had a great Christmas, looking forward to the new year, looking forward to just more adventures on this channel as it is growing, and I have hit my 1,000 subscriber mark, so I'm excited about that. And just kind of jumping into it, today's news is covering an interview that Scott Gimple recently did for Entertainment Weekly, and of course he was asked about Walking Dead. Now, Walking Dead, as a universe, as a franchise, as a brand, is not what it used to be. It has definitely gone downhill in quality and story. Not so much acting, I guess. I mean, you can argue the point too, but it's not creating the hype that it once had. You go back to season 4 and 5, around there, you could not go anywhere without hearing about Walking Dead because it was at the forefront of AMC. It was a priority. These days, that's not the case. With this, though, with the interview that Scott Gimple recently did, he was, of course, asked about any possibility of a season 2 of The Ones Who Live, and went on record just to say that a season 2 of The Ones Who Live is not possible at this moment because of just scheduling conflicts with Andy Lincoln, Denai Guerrero. They're both out doing their own thing right now, and also with the Walking Dead, and or just with that particular story. We don't need a season 2 of the whole show. We don't need that, I don't think, anyways. That's just my personal opinion. With Rick Grimes, with Michonne. Michonne's story was kind of completed within that first season. She went out to look for Rick. She found him. She brought him home, and that was that. We didn't really need any more from her side of the story. But with Rick, however, there's a lots of reunions that have been set up and basically ignored up to this point. And there's just a lot of people clamoring, when will we get those reunions? When will we get anything that will give it proper closure that we didn't get at the end of The Walking Dead? And that's kind of my thing too. With the end of The Walking Dead, Daryl left to go do his thing, and that was kind of the premise of his show, that he was going out, he was going to look for Rick, he was going to bring him home, and that kind of changed over time. We got the first season, which was very good, new characters, new environments. And then second season, really underwhelming. I really didn't enjoy that season. It was hyped up. It did not pay out with the hype. And just kind of shoehorning certain characters back in there, and it just didn't make sense, and then killing off others just to kind of get rid of that story and just, in some senses, act like the first season never happened. So with that, we're waiting on what's going to happen. I think that, I mentioned we don't need a whole second season. I think some cameos would suffice as far as getting these reunions, doing kind of a mini relaunch of The Walking Dead, an unofficial season 12, in a sense, where you could, for the sole purpose, bring all of these people back. Because we had Morgan also set up to go look for Rick. No payout. We don't know what's going on. He's just kind of out there wandering the world, doing his thing, where Andy Lincoln said he is willing to come back, given the correct story. Going back to basic surviving, fighting the undead, not dealing with these big storylines. And kind of on top of that too, we had a big storyline with the CRM, and it was snuffed out. They're done. And that was another threat that was built up with nothing to really show for it. And Scott Gimple himself just kind of running this brand into the ground. He doesn't really care. He's all about the paycheck. He's made that very clear. He doesn't care what the fans have to say. He's just kind of doing his own thing. And in that interview, too, he says where he's just kind of still doing these little fan fictions to himself regarding Rick or just any other parts of The Walking Dead. So it's very easy to say that he doesn't care, because he honestly doesn't. He doesn't care about this brand or this franchise anymore. He's just kind of in it for the paycheck, as I mentioned. And with these stories just out there lingering, we get real no closure on what's going on. There's just these spin-offs that, in my opinion, they're okay. Daryl Dixon, as I mentioned, it's not as good as I would have hoped. It's just kind of also year by year at this point. They're shooting season 3. No real confirmation on season 4 if that's even going to happen. Dead City's kind of its own thing. It's doing its own story. It's kind of separated from everything else, which I do enjoy that part. It's not alluding to anything in The Walking Dead as a whole in a larger sense. Whereas Daryl Dixon, like I mentioned, its whole story was kind of based on Daryl going out looking for Rick, and now it seems like he's just kind of disregarded that mission. Even with bringing Carol back in, him asking her directly about that big moment in season 1 about when they were on the radio together, and she says that no one came back, it was just a feeling. That was the biggest cop-out and just biggest disappointment that we've seen in The Walking Dead for a while. And just also the whole flashbacks or going over her grief again or dealing with it for the first time with Sophia's thing, that was kind of annoying too. But I digress. With the interview that Scott Gimple did, he's offering no information. I don't think there's any information to be offered, but I just want to do a quick video, talk about it, talk about The Walking Dead, and hopefully they have something in mind for what they want to do. You know, we're hoping that Andy Lincoln and Denai Guerrera, you know, other members of the Walking Dead cast will be willing to come back and to complete the story that we didn't get in the first go around with the end of the original show. And so I'm hoping they have something in mind of what they want to do, what they want to accomplish with this show, being that it's going on its 15th year of existence. But again, I just want to do this video real quick to talk about that news, to talk about Scott Gimple and just Walking Dead, and just hope that we have something to look forward to down the road. But if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you guys later. So take care. Bye.